Elisa, a half Venezuelan, half Chinese lingerie designer whom I met in Hong Kong, spoke to me from her heart.
One day, suddenly at night, everything turns around on me, and I feel like emptiness, and I feel questioning myself so many questions, like, what am I doing in this world? What is this life for? And I feel like confused, and then I start to think like, I think there is something that I have to do in this life. So I start to wonder if I need to talk with someone, but I feel like in this world no one is going to help me. And then I think, no, I think there is a God. So I was like, how can I find God? Where is God? I want to talk with God. One day I saw my sister praying, and then it really touched me, when I saw her praying. I was, wow, I think she's talking with God, and I want to talk with God also. And then I start to looking about things about Islam, and then I searched a word in the internet, and it said, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. I didn't really know the meaning of this, but I feel so comfortable with this word, and I try to memorize it. And every night when I go to sleep, I was, because I feel like I was lost in this world, and I start crying. And every time that I go to sleep, I just say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. I feel so comfortable. And then one day I told my sister, I know a word in Arabic, I know a sentence, I know La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And then she said, you say this when you convert to a Muslim. And I was like, so I'm a Muslim. So and then I start to feel like that God was guiding me to find the truth about my life and the true path. So it was like, I feel like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He opens my heart. Yeah, out of in one night like that.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah is the declaration of faith in Islam. It means that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad is His messenger. But before we left Hong Kong, we also met Wing Zi Chung, a certified accountant in an international company, who also told us her story.
My work gave me an opportunity to work in London for 2 years. So I went abroad. So I settled my family, got my driving license, and I want to experience what is life. I want to really look for life. So at the beginning, me and a few girlfriend tried to enjoy the European life. We start to go dancing, clubbing, drinking, and stuff like that. Just the normal European life. But slowly I realized that actually is not good for the woman. I see some very good and innocent friends. They start to have multiple relationships. Sometimes I want to take a cab with a girlfriend at night, but she just disappeared after seeing a guy in the pub. Then I realized they are not happy at the end. They are being abused, and they are just destroying themselves, and they don't have any happiness at the end. I start to think this European or Western lifestyle that we always feel superior, but I cannot find an answer within that. I took a flight to Florida, and I spent 7 days fishing by the pier, and I start to look for religion with the Bible on my left hand, and Fortress of the Muslim is a prayer book on my right hand. So my religious journey started. So after half year of reading, I kind of confirm Islam is the truth. It really fitting to my values. So then I embrace Islam.
Back to Elissa. I asked her how she came to the decision to wear the hijab.
When I started to work, I was really scared about it, wearing the hijab, and when everybody's looking at you so normal and suddenly you are with a hair covering. But then I met a teacher, and my teacher gave me a really good concept about God. If you believe in God, if you believe in Allah, He will make it easy for you. And I was, yes. I started to get this concept, but still I was not that brave enough. And then one night, I got the Quran and I say, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I need to be better Muslim, and I will follow you no matter what you will tell me this night what I have to do. And I just opened the Quran, and there was the ayah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was telling the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to tell women to cover themselves. And I just started crying. I was, oh, mashallah, I cannot deny this message from Allah. And then the next day when I went to work, I talked with my supervisor, and then I said, I'm not Muslim, and I was not devoted at all, but slowly I understand the true meaning of my life, and I really want to go to work with wearing my headscarf. And then she said, yes, it's okay, do it. And then I start wearing my scarf, and I see a huge difference. I was scared how people would look at me, but when the women of my office, they look at me, they were like, oh, why are you wearing a headscarf? And then I said, because I'm a Muslim, and I can talk to them about Islam, and there was the most happy part of me in my job, that I can talk about Islam. And when I approached some of the male colleagues, the way how they looked at me was more respectful than before. And that is when I feel like, okay, this is what I call the honor of a woman.
It also gives me freedom that I can respect myself as a woman. I don't need to wear for you, man. I wear for myself. I wear for my husband. I don't need to please you because I need this job. Islam actually gives me a right to wear proper clothing, and I'm not forced to do it.
Dr. Layla wasn't to know that I have been doing exactly that, especially in churches around the world. When I'm asked about the hijab, I ask them in turn, who of them has ever seen a woman wearing hijab before? And of course, all of them raise their hands. Then I ask, who among you has ever wondered why they wear it? And 90% of them raise their hands. Then I show them this picture. Then I ask, do you know who she is? Yes, they answer, Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ. Then I show them this picture and I ask, who is she? They say, Mother Teresa, the Nobel Peace Prize laureate. Then I ask them, may we say that in your eyes these are the best two women? And they say yes. Then I show them a picture of a Muslim woman and I ask them, what is common to these three images? They say, the hijab. All three are covered except for faces and hands. And I say, excuse me, a minute ago you were asking me why Muslim women dress like that? In nearly all the interviews with the 12 converts, there was something they all highlighted as being an attraction to Islam: freedom.
Before I became a Muslim, I had a lot of misconceptions about Islam, especially concerning women. I really thought that this was a religion in which women are forced to dress a certain way. They're not allowed to go outside. They're not allowed to learn. They're not allowed to work. They're not allowed to be a human being. This is really what I thought. But after I converted, I found out that all my misconceptions, all the ideas I had about women in Islam were wrong. And I found out that it's liberating. And it's not just liberating, it also allows you to, in Islam we work, we are allowed to own businesses, we're allowed to divorce if we're unhappy, you have to ask us our permission to get married. All the things that bothered me before, they're simply not true. I see that in Islam, as a woman, I can be who I want to be. I can work. Another important thing is I can dress how I want to. I'm not pushed by the fashion of the day. My body is my own. I'm free from all the looks of people. I'm free from all the pressure of being too skinny or being too fat or walking on high heels or wearing certain super expensive designer clothes that after you wear them twice you gotta buy new ones. I can just focus on my real life. I can focus on my family. I can focus on my work. I can focus on my God. I can focus on myself. I don't have to focus about what everybody else thinks about me. And I think this is one of the things that is so attractive in Islam for women. You are valued for the person you are. You're liberated from having to be an object, having to be something that's only there for being beautiful. You're free to express yourself. You're free to work, to be a mother if you want to be, because you don't have to work. You can. That's another difference.
Islam is providing me more liberty, because being a woman in Islam, I can choose if I want to go to work. Being a married woman in Islam, my husband needs to provide for me. I also have the liberty to choose if I stay at home and educate my child or not. And I choose to stay at home and educate my child.
I also feel more freedom. In Hong Kong, every woman have to work. Even you are a man, you will think women have to work for the family. But in Islam, actually, man has the responsibility. I can choose to work, and you cannot disallow me to work, but I can choose to work or not.